That's right, guys. Usually we'd be going over the best future characters, but today we're going over the best future character, period. This character is a mistake, in my opinion. We're going over none other than Savior of Souls, Lightning, who just came out not too long ago in the JP version of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. So who would win in a fight? Final Fantasy Brave Exvius characters or War of the Vision characters? We're going to determine that with the help of you guys out there. This is going to be the clash of the communities, brought to you in collaboration of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, War of the Vision, Square Enix, Amazon App Store, and some of the community content creators here. It's going to be a cool event for you guys to take part in with lots of savings for you as well. What are the savings? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is going to be something I've never seen before, but if you spend $1 or more in currency in one of the games, you will get a $10 instant rebate in a purchase for the other game. So if you spend $1 or more in Brave Exvius, you will get a $10 credit / rebate in War of the Visions. If you spend $1 or more in War of the Visions, you will get a $10 credit in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. So this is going to be an awesome opportunity for anyone who's playing both of those games, but it's also a fantastic opportunity if you're only playing one of them to check out the other one, mess around with it a little bit, see if you like it, and then most importantly for you guys out there, spend that $1 in that game so you can get $10 off in your main game. That is a fantastic thing. This is using the Amazon App Store version of the game, so if you don't know how to do that, go down in the description below, get informed, and swap for the Amazon version. Do note that this is only valid one time per customer, and you have until the 31st of December to use your credit. Outside of that, it is free reign out there for you guys to get your hands on this. So make sure you guys get out there and vote for your favorite team, and also get the big savings for your favorite game. They tried to sort of make her a character. We've seen it before, like the bruiser, damage dealing tank type character. We've had it before back in the day where we had tanks that wanted attack and defense. Now we have tanks that skill off of defense. This was their next concept, but accidentally they kind of broke a lot of systems in the game. So let's go over Savior of Souls, Lightning here. Let's talk exactly about what sort of mechanics were introduced. They're kind of broken, so let's go over this. Her TMR here is a heavy shield, and as you see, she's listed as a damage dealing support type tank character. She's doing a lot of things. So her TMR, heavy shield, 50 attack, 50 defense, 50 magic, 50 spirit. Really weird. The passive on it increases equipment attack by 50% attack when single wielding any weapon with or without a shield. Also increases your equipment magic by 50% when single wielding any weapon with or without a shield. This is the first concept that was introduced, and this is the least broken of the two concepts that were introduced with this character. What does this mean exactly? So this is true double hand, except you can either use a one-handed weapon, you can use a two-handed weapon on their own, or you use a one-handed weapon with a shield, and it will still give you the true double hand, in this case for attack percent as well as magic percent. Think about that. We're going to call it sword and board from now on. I think that's the term a lot of players using. It makes the most sense. You can TDH a weapon, or you can use a weapon in a shield. That makes you extremely flexible, and it gives you a lot of good stuff. This TMR on its own is not why she's broken. The most broken part about her is the new mechanic that they added. We've seen this before with True Dual Wield. You take a look at her Super Trust Master reward. Very simple Super Trust Master reward. Increases chain cap multiplier by 100%. So what does this mean? If you guys don't know, the True Dual Wield cap 6 times, it's 600% multiplier there. Everyone has a base multiplier 400%. The game is hard capped at 600% chain cap. So what do you do with this Super Trust Master reward? You put this on someone who is a true double hand character, or the new sword and board type characters. They have the 400% mod. That's the base for every character. This will increase it by 100%, and you can put this on any character out there. Why is this broken? Well, if you put this on someone who's actually just true double handing, such a like Aigion Kai weapon, or a like Black Sparky from Olive, they have 1.5 times variance. So in JP, where you can stack this, or in Lightning's case, where she actually has this STMR passive here, she has that as a passive. So she has the 4.0 normal mod cap. We'll get to the passive where she's passively at 5.0. If you put this on her own Super Trust Master reward, she gets a 6.0 while true double handing. Okay, you're like, that's already in the game. Why is that broken? You also can put a two-handed weapon on her, specifically a weapon with 1.5 times variance like Black Sparky in Global, or some of the other two-handed, you know what kind of weapon types we're talking about, not trying to get demonetized here. In the game, that 1.5 times mod bonus there, that damage range, in conjunction with that 6 times mod cap, you're looking at effectively a 9.0 mod cap. That's huge. It's 50% higher than anything. It's because we have that 50% variance. So if you want to look at that, that's why, and that's where we're going with this broken stuff. But it gets even better. All right, let's take a look at her vision card here. It gives you 80 base attack and 80 base magic at level 10. The level 4 passive gives you 50% attack and magic when equipped with a light shield or a heavy shield. The level 7 passive gives you 50% attack and magic when equipped with a light shield or a heavy shield once again. So this vision card is based on that sword and board sort of mentality. And if you are using her, you want her to be tankier, maybe even tank for you, you can have her tank and do that damage for you. But if you want her to do insane damage, you do exactly what we just talked about there. And the level 10 passive, if you have this card equipped to an FF13, 13-2, or Lightning Returns 13 character, it will give you that 50% attack and magic true double hand sword and board stat as well. So if you have the TMR on with her vision card, you get that 100% attack and 100% magic sword and board type stat there. So what else are we talking about down here? Let's go ahead and look at her Brave Shift duration. Her Brave Shift available on turn 1. It lasts infinite turns, and it has a 2-turn cooldown. Element resist and status element resist. She's naturally resisted by 50% to fire, ice, lightning, and wind. Just straight out the gate in this form. Okay, that's insane. She also has 50% resistance to all the status elements in the game. That's not that big of a deal. The weapon selection here, we have swords, gray swords, katanas, spears, maces. I almost want to call them flails, even for the last 5 years. And then the shoot, shoot, pow, pow type weapons. All right. Armor selection, I think that's pretty much everything in the game. She's got everything in the game for armor selection: light and heavy shields, helms, hats, all of that good stuff. Heavy armor, light armor, clothing, robes, whatever it is you want her to do, she can do that. So let's go ahead and take a look at her very, very, very brief, easy access kit here. She's very easy to use too, which is that's a huge boost in my opinion here. So her first Brave ability here increases her fire, ice, lightning, and wind resist by 90% for 5 turns. She's already 50% resist to all of those things, so that's insane. She also will get mitigation against physical damage against fairies and magic damage against fairies by 50% for 5 turns, and she can provoke here. So this is going to be her big provoke if you want her to tank, get that mitigation against the fairy type enemies, which is going to be a thing that can be very powerful. It's a new type of mitigation, and we're going to be seeing more and more and more of this. We've already seen it before, but we've seen it at like 10%. This is like 50%. This is a little bit better because of that extra bonus there. She also has her own 300% attack and magic boost for 6 turns, 30 LB gauge increase to the caster right there, and a 150% LB damage boost. And yes, she does have triple cast, but that skill thankfully is not triple castable. Otherwise, she'd be maybe just a little too insane, chaining and then LBing automatically no matter what. She'd have the dual cast white magic. She has that. She also has a nice support ability here. Recover 100 MP to the caster, adds lightning element to physical attacks for 5 turns to your whole party, and increases the lightning, physical, and magical damage dealt by your whole party by 15% for 5 turns as well. She's got a break gauge skill for swords, and then we have her main damage dealing skill here. It's a 36 times mod, absolute mirror of equity with ignore 50% defense, so it's going to be a 72 times multiplier there. And it gives her a 75% general mitigation damage reduction buff for 5 turns to the caster. She also has access to another skill that's bolting strike frames, 70 times mod to all enemies, and it's a 120% lightning imperil. So she's got the lightning imperil for your team, she's got the lightning imbue for your team, she's got the lightning magic damage and physical damage bonus for your team there. And her most important thing here is that she is going to be, when you get into her passive, she's a tanky character. And don't let this 72 times mod, we'd be like, oh, it's a little bit lower than, you know, that's nothing game breaking. We have that right now. Keep in mind, she's gonna have 6 times mod cap, okay, and 1.5 times variance. She's gonna do a lot of damage, and she's got her own buffs, and we're not even done yet with how much you can increase just this form's damage. This isn't even her EX form. This is her base form. So this is half the character's kit. Now you look at her passives here. She comes with 100% attack, defense, magic, spear, HP, and MP. And then she comes with 200% of that sword and board buff, 200% attack, true double hand, sword and board, 200% defense, true double hand, sword and board. That's right. So even if you're using her as a damage dealer, your body piece is still gonna have defense on it, right? Your headpiece might have defense on it. Maybe you have some higher end accessories that might have a couple pieces of defense on it. You're still gonna get 200% of that. You're gonna be even bulkier So the combination of this free defense from this passive in conjunction with the free damage mitigation you're getting from your damage dealing skill, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot, all right? Her offense is going to be a new stat here. You're going to see this. Increases magic damage against broken enemies. These are the break gauge enemies. This increases magic damage, though this doesn't really affect this base form here. But she also gets 50% physical and 150% fairy and demon magic and physical killer there, respectively. She also has 30% physical damage bonus versus broken enemies as well. So she will have, with that part on a different skill there, the increased damage against broken enemies, which is something I inherently disagree with. I don't like that, and that's going to be part of her Super Trust Master and Trust Master reward trustability, basically. Now, her LB damage, she does have a passive 150. Remember, she has that 150 buff. She also has 150 passively. She also has 50% dodge and 50% draw attacks. She also has a counter attack that can counter some attacks there with LB gauge increase of 10 times to your whole party with a 250% defense buff. She's immune to stop and charm. And like we said, she starts with the chain cap modifier increase of 100%. She starts off with the 5 times mod cap. Her STMR makes it go up to the 6 times mod cap. She also gets some LB gauge per turn infill right there. Her magic, she does have revive full life there. And that's about it as far as using that dual cast. She does have Asuna and stuff, but that's not like the craziest thing with Dispel. Whatever, that's not what we're here for. Her Limit Burst here as well is very nice. It's 110 times multiplier that costs 60 LB gauge crystals, and it gives a 30% lightning physical and magical damage buff for 4 turns to the caster, and 2 stacks of Mirage for 3 turns to your whole party, which is actually pretty amazing. Now, the multiplier on this isn't insanely high, but remember, 6 times mod cap with just her STMR, 1.5 times variance weapon. She is insane for that reason. She is extremely powerful because they introduced this new mechanic to kind of make her do damage as a tank, but you can take advantage of it and kind of break out of the system and just make her a full-on damage dealer with a full-on TDH, 200%. Passively give her 400%, give her Cloud's Super Trust Master Reward, give her own Super Trust Master Reward. All of a sudden, with just those 2 Super Trust Master Rewards, you're looking at a 400% TDH attack, 200% TDH defense, 6 times mod, chain cap character with just 2 STMR materia. That sounds pretty great, but what about her second set? What does her second set allow you to do? Because her first set's already good enough. She's already doing all the stuff. She can tank well for you with Provoke. She can get in there and she can do a whole bunch of damage. What else is there to do with this character? Brave Shift, he turns into a magical damage dealer if that wasn't enough. So you can use her in even more situations here. So she still retains that Provoke and the Fire, Ice, Lightning, Wind buff for herself there. She still has the 300% attack and magic buff there. And then if you look at her other stuff down here, she just comes with a bunch of damage as well as some breaking potential for you here. So she's got a magic and spirit break 85%, but these aren't going to be her best breaks. Let me tell you that right now. These also have magic damage 48 times multiplier. She also has a 180 times multiplier bolting strike skill to match her other 2 bolting strike skills. Do note that these are not physical attacks due to magic damage, and these do not have an element associated with them, so they're not that great. She's got supplementary magic damage on this side, but she does have the capabilities to become a full-time breaker with her cooldown skill here. 85% attack defense, magic, and spirit break for 5 turns to 1 enemy, and it actually does come with disease. Disease will lower the enemy stats by an additional 10% if they are susceptible to it, and it's cool that they finally put disease on someone who can break. Now, all bosses are vulnerable to disease, but it will help out when they're not immune to that disease. She also has rod break damage here for your new break gauge bosses, which we'll be seeing more and more of. Now, to get to her actual damage dealing magic damage skills here, we have bolting strike frames, and they are wind and lightning element. The wind one is 72 times multiplier there to all enemies with a 120% wind and peril associated with it for 5 turns. The lightning one is going to be an 80 times multiplier to all enemies, and it's going to be a 120% lightning and peril. Now remember, the lightning one not only does it have a higher mod, but her normal form comes with that 15% lightning damage bonus or that 30% lightning damage bonus from her limit burst. So keep that in mind there. She does come with base triple cast there, And she also still has the 2 times cast white magic there. What about her other stuff here? She's got some magic evasion. She's got the increased chance of being targeted down in here. She's got some ignore fatal attacks. She doesn't have anything super crazy here. She still has the magic damage against broken damage enemies there, the demon killer, the fairy killer. And most importantly, this side, she also does have, here we go again, 200% true double hand sword and board magic, 200% true double hand sword and board spirit. And she does come with the increases chain cap multiplier 100% here. So on this side, you also can put her super TMR on, and you can go true double hand, straight up true double hand magic on this side. Now, you're not going to have the crazy sort of variance abuse that you will with her physical form, right? With the physical form having the ability to use a 1.5 times variance two-handed fist weapon or the shoo shoo pow pow weapons. You won't be able to have that like you will with the magic side, but you're gonna have 400% magic, and you're gonna be able to use something like the big Dark Visions rod. Oh, it's gonna be super strong. Take like that Dark Visions rod where you can hit, like right now where we've seen people hit like 5,000, 5,500 magic. Take that, but with 6 times multiplier cap, and that's gonna be her magic form as well. And then her magic form, a limit burst here, she's gonna have access to this LB. It's gonna be fire, ice, lightning, wind damage, 50 times mod with ignore 50% spirit, so 100 mod there with a 90% spirit break, as well as add ice, fire, lightning, and wind element to physical attacks for 5 turns to the caster. So there's one really good part about this and one obvious terrible part. The damage part and the imbue part are awful, because you're imbuing yourself fire, ice, lightning, and wind. That's terrible. And nearly every fight, that's going to be a bad day for you. You're probably not going to do any damage either because it's fire, ice, lightning, and wind damage as well. But you can get her in there to do a 90% spirit break for 2 turns. So if you want to get that big burst damage in something like Dark Visions or whatever it is, we're using a bunch of mages, you spirit break them, and then you get in there and you take them out the following turn. So the fact that this won't do damage to a lot of bosses in Dark Visions could be a good thing. Could be a good thing. It leaves them nice and healthy so you can take full advantage of that spirit break and throw them down into the pits of yonder years where they just will they won't like it. They won't like it. So this is the character that people have been asking me about. You know, we talk about it on stream, haven't been hanging out on stream. What are you doing with yourselves? Get over there. But this is the one. This is the character. Now, obviously, a lot of the characters we have now are good, but this character, if you're saving for any character, should be the character, because not only is this character fantastic, but she institutes a Super Trust Master award that you can just kind of slap onto pretty much any true double hand character that you like to use now, as soon as you get her, or in the future when another one comes out that you like even more, right? And you'll be able to get that increased chain multiplier cap. That was a mistake. The thing itself isn't a mistake. The fact that that sort of mechanic exists isn't a mistake. The fact that they put it on a Super Trust Master award that you can slap on any character, though, that part's gonna be a little iffy for me. I think that's a big mistake. I think it's a big mistake. Less so in global than in JP, because in JP, if you get 2 of her Super Trust Master award, you can stack it, because they still allow that for some reason. Pretty sure you can just throw those on willy-nilly. You can use 2 of her STMR on any true double hand character that comes out in the future at all, and I think they have a big mess on their hands in JP. Luckily for us in global, that shouldn't be as big of a deal, but it's still insane because you can still put this on anyone in the game, even if they don't have that chain cap multiplier increase at all. You still take them up to 5 times. So we're gonna always have this in our back pockets to make every character stronger than they should be, as they were designed as a true double hand character. Throw that on them. Ouch. That's all I have to say there, guys, for this one. So thank you guys for coming and joining us so much. Make sure you go ahead and check out the description below for all that stuff we talked about at the start of the video. Until then, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.